Track number 4 is called Airwave. Ironically, this is the first track that I started and the last one that I finished in the project. Sometimes it happens that way. You listen to a beat a year later, and you realize you don't like the second half. That's what happened with Airwave.
Struggling with the time change, 'cause I've changed. But now I know, now I know, I know.
The lyrics are really the important part in this track. I wanted to speak from the soul and find something that the audience, the listener, could relate to. You know, I feel the same way about you now. I feel like that's some type of thing we can all relate to, that you're away from someone and now, next thing you know, you're still having those same feelings that you had yesterday. The key to this track is to really make that passion and soul shine through. And the way to do this is by layering multiple, I'm talking 3 to 5 different vocal layers. Let's take a look at how I do this in Airwave. Welcome to the Airwave session in Pro Tools. I'm going to be showing you guys how to layer and pan your vocals to make a strong mix. This episode is going to be a little more informative. Rather than actually doing the mixing and panning inside the episode, I'm just going to be showing and talking about what I did. Hopefully you guys can learn something and take away some of these points and add them to your own mixes to create strong vocals. So, to begin, I'm going to pop open the mix itself so that you can take a look at it while I play the vocals. And what I really want you to pay attention to is this area. So just kind of watch as this changes as the vocals are being played.
I got on your airwave, airwave, and I still feel the same way about you now. Struggling with the time change, 'cause I've changed. But now I know, now I know, I know. I got on your airwave, airwave, and I still feel the same way about you now. Struggling with the time change, 'cause I've changed. But now I know, now I know, I know.
Okay, so really strong vocals, really soulful. You can really feel the passion that Gabby brings speaking out and hitting the listener. And this is what I wanted to convey, and it all starts with your main take. So in that case, that's this Airwave Central. And what you want this to be is your best take. So out of all the takes Gabby sent me, I went through, listened to them all repeatedly and thought, you know, this is the best vocal take that she had, and I want to make this my central take because this is going to be the take that I build the rest of the vocal mix around. A couple things I like to do with that best take is make it a little louder than the rest. So as you can tell, it's +3 decibels. And I also like to pan it directly in the middle. So it's something that we can work around. Then I add a left and a right usually. So these are 2 takes that are both split in the opposite directions. One that's just coming out of the left earphone and one that's coming out of the right earphone or the right speaker. And these I like to make a little quieter. So as you can see, they start at around -3 decibels. This just kind of gives it this building surround sound like feeling, and it starts to really bring the listener in. Then as Gabby picks up the speed and the track starts to really gain traction, I bring in additional 4 layers of vocals, and here I do some additional panning and add a couple of special effects that I'm going to tell you about. So first, I have an additional high vocal on the left side and a high vocal on the right side. These I pan at 35 to the left and 35 to the right. So if you picture this whole spectrum, I have one in the middle, one all the way to the left, one all the way to the right, and then one kind of almost halfway in between those two. So again, I'm building this encompassing sound for the listener. And with these high ones, it's just Gabby singing at a higher pitch. So I kind of wanted those to be, you know, a little louder, a little more powerful. So that's why I start those where I do there. And then the last 2 vocal takes that I use are this chorus left and this chorus right. And what's special about these is that I use this plugin called multi-chorus. What it does is it essentially takes the vocal sound of one voice and turns it into 4 voices. So it kind of makes it quieter, but it also makes it feel as if there's more people singing. So I do that on both sides of the earphones, kind of in that negative space. So we have, again, one in the middle, one all the way to the left, one all the way to the right. Now here, 180% to the right, or left, 80% to the right, and then 35 and 35. So when they're all mixed together, you really get that strong sound. And that's something that I always try to create. I always try to encompass the listener within the vocals. Small little tidbit is each of these vocal tracks has reverb on them. It's something I always like to do because that will fill in the space in between all of those holes and just, again, create that surround sound that I'm looking for. So that's how I mix the vocals in Airwave, and I hope you guys can take away some of those points and add them to your mixes. Sometimes the most powerful lyrics come because there's more than one person singing. It sounds like a choir. You're adding this presence, this strength, these multiple singers joining together. That moment when the crowd is all singing together, that really hits hard, and people feel that passion and soul. It speaks through to the audience. I encourage you to play around with layering vocals in your tracks. Hey guys, it's Alex. Thanks for watching, and make sure to go listen to Viking from Ike Music on Spotify, Apple Music, or YouTube. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at WelcomeToIKE. And please, please, please send us an email to WelcomeToIKE@gmail.com with your suggestions or thoughts. We want to make a lot more videos. We'd be happy to listen to you guys. So subscribe today, and thanks again.